Markets still trading down. We're looking at an over 1% drop so far this morning. The one story that we promised to speak about was, of course, Suzlon. And we know that over last week, Suzlon was making headlines with this management change where we suddenly came to know that the CFO is moving on and an incumbent within the company is being elevated to that post. And not just the change in management, right? Priyank, there's so much of talk about the huge debt and whether they'll be selling out RE Power, whether they'll be listing RE Power, but basically some means of raising cash.
Pretty much, that seems to be the highlight. Before we actually get into details, what we've picked up from Bloomberg, let's just go across and listen to what Mr. Tulsi Tanti actually had to say.
So there have been some reports, media reports, that the CFO of your company has resigned and there have been issues with the foreign convertible bond. Would you like to highlight something on that?
No, it's always the company has to transform from the leadership point of view. As you know, we are the part of the process of integration of the Repower and Suzlon. So part of this process, we have to take some change in the leadership area, and that's why we have bring the one leadership in the finance area, which Mr. Kirti will take. He is so many years with the groups, and that's his leading is there. There is no relations of any obligation of the payment versus the CFO, but it's more and part of our Suzlon and Repower integration, part of that initiatives. These are the actions are there. Thank you very much.
200 crores farmland sold in Pune basically for the wind farms. Something on that elaborated.
No, we have sold as part of our non-core asset sales nearly $40 million. It's approximately 200 crores. That is not in Pune, but it is based in Tamilnadu and some asset in Maharashtra. We are owning some of the wind farm and which we have sold out because it will give us the huge liquidity and that will be the good support for our growth.
Because that's Mr. Tanti out there talking to us earlier, explaining as to what's really happening in terms of the management scenario.
Yep.
What's interesting is what we've actually picked up from our affiliates, Bloomberg, way back in Europe itself, that the murmurs regarding a possible stake sale or relisting of RE Power is actually getting more louder. Now, what's actually in focus out here is that nearly for the last couple of weeks, you had various names pop up. You had Alstom, you had G, all these are the global players that I'm talking about, possibly looking to buy out RE Power from Suzlon itself. Now, the latest that we've actually been tracking right now is that now Suzlon, which is Asia's third largest wind turbine maker by sales, remember that's the kind of size we're talking about Suzlon right here, is evaluating options including a sale or listing some of the global operations of RE Power. Why are they actually doing this? Well, they have a huge debt burden which they're looking to reduce as time goes by and as the maturity dates start coming nearby. So they need to look at some options for raising cash. Now, the company is actually seeking nearly 1.5 billion euros in terms of from a sale of a stake or probably in any kind of listing activity as well. Now, the fact here is that a sale could actually be preferred over an IPO. Looking at the market situation right now is what Bloomberg sources have indicated. No firm decision has yet been taken. These are more or less at deliberation stage currently, but any development in that context would definitely aid Suzlon because remember the company's got nearly 700 million of debt lying on its books right now, and a couple of those repayments come as soon as June 2012 itself. So the next couple of months you'll start seeing some pressure on the company. Remember, the Edison angle also has been somewhat of an overhang as far as the debt repayment structure is concerned.
I think the whole market has been trying to figure out how they'll actually redeem those FCCBs because conversion seems very unlikely at current prices. Anyway, moving on to the next promised exclusive. It's a morning of exclusives here on Bloomberg UTV today.